Good evening, I'm Andrew Chang. Adrian is away. Tonight, day one of school in Alberta, and COVID-19 has an impact already.
It's a little uncomfortable. I could barely even breathe in it, sadly.
As other Canadian parents wait, what's on the minds of teachers?
They just don't want us to come in, and then destruction is done.
Donald Trump comes to Kenosha, Wisconsin with a message of support for police.
It's been all hands on deck so far.
A new proposal to clear a backlog of surgery cases. Now, is there money for it? And a ballpark retirement for the ages.
I came down here with a kid about that height, and I haven't left since.
A local legend with a story every community can relate to. This is The National. Canada is going back to school in a pandemic. All the concerns about preparations, about trade-offs between health, safety, and the educational needs of a generation of students, they all come to a head right now. In Quebec and across Canada's north, classes have already begun. Students are back in Alberta, Nova Scotia, and Newfoundland this week, and the rest are still preparing for an unusual year. Now, the COVID-19 situation could be better. Nationally, average daily new cases are trending up, now nearly 500 a day. And unlike earlier in the summer, more than half of those cases now come from Western Canada. Alberta alone is seeing the highest rate of new infections all summer, matching rates in early May when the provincial lockdown was in full swing. But like the rest of Canada, Alberta is jumping in with both feet. For many students, school started today. And as Carolyn Dunn explains, that's despite signs of trouble.
I think you want to pack up your stuff?
Sure. New lunch kits, sneakers, and backpacks for a new school year. Autumn and Lincoln McCollum are excited to finally go back. Ryder to start kindergarten. The last 6 months have been lonely.
I think our biggest concern is our kids' mental health. I think being in this place for so long where they haven't been able to have that regular social interaction to build with other children.
So with their favorite masks, the McCollums will join well over 80% of other Albertan school children headed back to class. Not that it's business as usual, from hand sanitizer to limits on the number of kids allowed in the bathroom at once. Schools have a very different look and feel. In Calgary, every child is required to wear a mask regardless of grade.
It's a little uncomfortable. I could barely even breathe in it, sadly.
Well, it's better for the safety of elderly people, and I think that's really responsible for people who are wearing masks all around.
My older one is very excited. My younger one is a bit more nervous to go back.
A little apprehension is fair enough. Positive cases and exposures have already thrown a wrench into reopening plans at 2 schools in southern Alberta.
So it's always been clear that there would be some outbreaks, and from time to time there will be classes or even schools that have to suspend operation for a while. The inevitability of that should not be a reason for us indefinitely to keep the schools closed.
And so they open with extraordinary measures for extraordinary times, hoping growing outbreaks don't close schools again. Carolyn Dunn, CBC News, Calgary.
In Ontario, classes are still several days away, and teachers are taking a crash course on opening school with the virus looming. Though, as Deanna Sumanek-Johnson shows us, even the crash course hit some big bumps.
After a few hours of trying while the server was down, teacher Matthew Morris finally managed to log on to his online training. He found some fairly obvious instructions.
Maintain a social distance, wear a mask.
Including some he isn't sure he'll be able to enforce.
It's virtually impossible to maintain a 2-meter social distancing in a classroom that I would say is maybe 30 by 50 feet off the top of my head with 27 kids plus me.
The training objectives have been set up by Ontario's Ministry of Education.
We have 14 layers of safety, so it's walking them through those layers and how they would apply.
But individual school boards have adapted them to their needs.
We've been living this lifestyle now for several months as a society. So it's taking some of those skills and transferring them into a school setting.
Skills that include proper use and disposal of PPE and some more specific instructions.
If you actually give the students like a piece of paper for some sort of seat work, you can collect it, but then you can't touch it for a day, and then you mark it, and then you have to wait a day before you hand it back.
This training begins as a heated debate rages on about how and if schools should be returning.
Come on in.
Ontario's Premier and Minister of Education had a safe school photo op.
I see you have your mask. I'm going to invite you to clean your hands.
But just yesterday, 4 major teacher unions filed a Labour board complaint about the safety of the province's plan.
I'd like to see the training be actually interactive, at least for a portion of it, with the ability to get further elaborations where there's some lack of clarity.
For now, it looks like a lot of that clarification will have to happen after Ontario's schools reopen over the next 2 weeks. Teachers training continues tomorrow in school and with a focus on not only COVID, but anti-racism training and the new math curriculum. Deanna Sumanak-Johnson, CBC News, Toronto.
Now, Toronto health officials are investigating 4 recent cases of COVID-19 at 2 malls. 2 infections were reported at Sherway Gardens, another 2 at Yorkdale Mall, popular restaurants and athletic stores. The companies say they've put safety protocols in place, including deep cleaning. A karaoke bar in Quebec City is being blamed for a recent spike in COVID-19 cases. More than 30 infections now linked to the bar, which will stay closed until September 10th. Health officials say patrons and staff could be fined for not following public health guidelines.
Today, I'm pleased to report that we have no new cases of COVID-19 in P.E.I, and all 44 cases of COVID-19 are now recovered.
So that means there are currently no active cases in P.E.I. Officials also announced a plan to further ease restrictions. Starting next month, larger organized gatherings will be allowed in the province. Now, along with everything else COVID-19 disrupted, it brought routine surgeries to a full stop. And even though doctors are operating again, there are big backlogs across the country. So today, a new study pointed a possible way forward for Ontario. Christine Birak explains.
My tumor is right here.
23-year-old Melody Sear was told her tumor might be cancerous. She needs a biopsy to find out, but the surgery's been canceled twice.
The biopsy never happened, and I cried a lot, and I almost yelled at the surgeon.
In Ontario alone, close to 150,000 people are waiting for surgeries put on hold by this pandemic. Now, some doctors say they've got a plan to get those patients into operating rooms.
It's been all hands on deck so far, and what we're saying is we can't lose focus here.
Computer modeling shows it will take more than 1.5 years to clear Ontario's backlog in surgeries. To do that, staff and surgeons must treat over 700 patients a week, and they'll need 265 open beds.
I think a lot of support is going to be required.
Hold off there for a sec.
Surgeon Jory Simpson says he's willing to work overtime. The model recommends operating rooms be set up ahead of time, allowing doctors to move quickly from one patient to the next.
This could allow for an additional 3 to 5 patients to be operated on that day by that surgeon.
But in reality, we haven't received more resources in order to address this backlog in surgery.
Any plan would require added healthcare funding, and hospitals could still see a surge in COVID-19 patients.
And it's quite likely we will. Then we're going to have backlogs that build on backlogs in the world of surgery.
BC had about 30,000 patients step aside during this pandemic. Half have now had their surgeries. The rest were added to a pre-existing wait list of 93,000 people. Manitoba recently spent $2.5 million. Its plan is to send waiting patients to public and private clinics for care.
You can go from a stage 1 to stage 4.
Sears just wants to know if she has cancer or not, while there are still hospital beds available. Christine Birak, CBC News, Toronto.
To the U.S. now, where today Donald Trump visited Kenosha, Wisconsin. That's where the police shooting of Jacob Blake has led to protests, destruction, even death in the streets. As Susan Ormiston shows us, it was a political opportunity for Trump to hammer home his main re-election message.
The president's visit brought what you'd expect. Deep-seated divisions in a city already cleaved by racial tension. Kenosha shut down its streets, secured the route. It didn't ask for this visit, advised against it, but Trump came anyway. To trumpet his law and order campaign message and get a photo op with a business that burned, blaming the mayor and the governor.
They didn't want to have us come in. They just don't want us to come in, and then destruction is done.
Over multiple nights, vandalism and arson left this city scarred. The downtown, a focus of angry riots and outside armed agitators who came to Kenosha, say police, to wreak havoc. Trump claims credit for sending in the National Guard, but the state governor did that. Still, Trump's got plenty of support here.
I think it was good to show the people that we're going to have to take up militia anyways, that he's got our back. We're not just going to stand and let somebody burn down our city.
The presidential motorcade passed by much of the damage, like this mobile phone shop, cleaned out in the riots.
They broke the windows, as you see there, the glass on the floor. They used the brick. They want justice, and I think they should have justice.
But people like Jamal have lost their livelihoods.
No work, and I have a wife and 4 kids. I'm jobless right now.
Lots of support, too, for Jacob Blake, the black man now paralyzed after police shot him 7 times in the back. No charges yet, and Trump did not mention his name. Blake family supporters staged a neighborhood party rather than be near Trump today.
If he loves chaos, we are not going to create the backdrop for the violent chaos he wants to see.
Neighbors unhappy that the president brought his spectacle to town.
I don't think it's helpful. No, we kind of hit the calm. We hit the calm. We're going to bounce back, but let us bounce back on our own.
Not in the spotlight of a hard-hearted campaign for president.
So, Susan, what did Donald Trump accomplish in this controversial visit?
Well, Andrew, this place where he actually toured today was his stage for an unvarnished support of law enforcement. Republicans have put public safety on the ballot this November, saying they'll protect communities instead of the chaos and fear that Democrats are stoking. And Kenosha plays into that. What's remarkable is not that he came to applaud police and other state guard who welcome his support. It's that he didn't even mention the shooting, the actual event, nor Jacob Blake's name, which gave rise to all the fury and much of the pain and much of what happened in places like this, Andrew.
Okay, thanks, Susan. Susan Ormiston in Kenosha, Wisconsin tonight. Well, tonight we have details about the official investigation into the office of Governor General Julie Payette, an investigation into issues uncovered by our reporting. Now, back in July, Ashley Burke broke the story about an allegedly toxic workplace at Rideau Hall. Now she has this latest chapter.
I, Dominic LeBlanc,
the son of a former Governor General himself. Just weeks ago, he was sworn into his new ministerial role by the current occupant of Rideau Hall. Now Dominic LeBlanc, who's also president of the Privy Council, is overseeing a review into whether Julie Payette verbally abused and mistreated her staff.
She represents the Canadian people and has to meet the highest standards, and these allegations are deeply concerning.
The Privy Council office has hired Quintet Consulting to conduct the confidential review. This after a CBC News story in July. It featured a dozen sources saying Payette belittled, berated, and publicly humiliated employees. And that her second-in-command and longtime friend, Assunta De Lorenzo, bullied staff too. CBC changed sources' voices to protect their identity.
This has gone from being one of the most collegial and enjoyable work environments for many of the staff to being a house of horrors.
I think I left devastated almost every day.
This former employee left because of the treatment.
And I would say in almost every meeting, someone was berated.
Quintet's job is to speak to all current and former staff who worked under Payette and want to participate, and to hear Payette and De Lorenzo's side of the story.
It's possible that out of this will come a change, and that it is, because the case is high profile, the changes that may come out of this may cascade through government organizations.
Even so, it's not known if the findings will be made public. The NDP says they should be.
I want to know that Minister LeBlanc is going to represent the interests of the Canadian people first and foremost, and not try and slip this under the carpet.
The consultant's report will detail the nature of the allegations and any conclusions on whether there was harassment or a toxic work environment. The Privy Council office expects the results later this fall. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Ottawa.
Well, the government announced today that a shameful chapter in this country's story is now deemed a historic event of national significance. For more than a century, the residential school system sought to assimilate Indigenous children and was often home to abuse and deprivation. Olivia Stefanovic shows us how that history is being preserved.
We will be closing in a good way today.
Inside the former Portage La Prairie Residential School, survivors watch as the building is designated a National Historic Site.
I have mixed feelings, one being that we have a dark history.
Ernie Daniels first went to the institution when he was 6, a memory he's never been able to shake.
Today, when I'm walking through that building, I still smell chlorine. Chlorine was used to wash us down as dirty little Indians.
Despite the brutality of his experience here, Daniels wants the site preserved.
It's important that Canada knows and its people, because of the current situation to do with racism, discrimination.
The building, owned by Long Plain First Nation, will become a museum.
It could also bring, I think, for the future generations, some closure.
In Nova Scotia, nothing remains of the former Shubenacadie Residential School, replaced now by a plastics factory.
I think it's really important that this site is marked.
Doreen Bernard campaigned more than 20 years for this moment and welcomes the plaque that will mark the site.
To have it acknowledged as a historic site, I think to me it means that this story, this history, will never be forgotten.
Survivors like Bernard hope Canadians will better understand the residential school era with the designation of these National Historic Sites. Other schools can still be added to the list, but it's up to individual communities to choose what to remember.
There will be nothing erected, nothing put up in a community without that community's consent and without that community's full involvement.
That's in stark contrast to the residential school era, when consent was not requested. Olivia Stefanovic, CBC News, Ottawa.
The Canadian Forces Snowbirds jets are leaving Kamloops, BC. They'll be flown back to home base in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. Now, 2 jets will take off tomorrow, the rest next week. They've been grounded for 3 months after a fatal crash in May, which took the life of Captain Jen Casey and seriously injured her pilot. Investigators believe a bird strike was a probable cause. In Belarus, thousands of students boycotted the start of the school year to protest against President Alexander Lukashenko, who has been in power for 26 years. Demonstrators accuse him of cheating in last month's election, a result which led to widespread international criticism and the threat of Western sanctions. Well, when a devastating blast killed nearly 200 people in Beirut, France's president paid tribute in person. Today, Emmanuel Macron was back, this time with a much harder message for Lebanon: clean up corruption or face sanctions. Margaret Evans is there.
Nearly a month on from Beirut's deadly explosion, the return of the French president. Blown in, optimists would have you believe, on winds of change for Lebanon. His visit coincides with the country's centenary and the nomination of a little-known new prime minister, now tasked with forming a government people will trust. It's unlikely. Protesters demanding the fall of Lebanon's political elites for months now were back on the streets today.
I'm against any government who is not technocrat.
Either you shut down the sectarian system or we will stay always like this.
Emmanuel Macron's first act on arriving last night was to visit the iconic Lebanese singer Fayrouz. She's one of the few unifying symbols in a country defined by its sectarian fissures, the same ones blamed for the corruption and mismanagement many say led to the Beirut explosion. Today, Macron floated the possibility of sanctions against Lebanon's ruling classes if corruption isn't addressed by all parties. But exceptionalism is already creeping in. This is a rally by the Lebanese President Michel Aoun's Free Patriotic movement yesterday. God, Lebanon, and Aoun only, they're chanting.
We learned through the years and through all the experiences we passed through to trust him.
Distrust is a far more profound emotion in Beirut neighborhoods devastated by the August blast. Ordinary people and volunteers taking care of each other, they say, in the absence of the state.
We are taking the place of the government. We are rebuilding the houses. We are giving food boxes. We're doing everything.
As well-intentioned as the street, as they call it, may be, the criticism is that it's still a long way off from forming a credible, united, and electable opposition capable of breaking through the old sectarian lines. Margaret Evans, CBC News, Beirut.
Well, tensions over Canada's return to the classroom have made new targets of some of Canada's top doctors.
I think they've lost a bit of my trust because I feel like at the moment they're jeopardizing the kids' health for the economy.
Up next, provincial medical health officers have guided Canadians through this pandemic. Now, critics worry that politics has crept in. Plus, they've smashed records, sold millions of albums, and now a new level of superstardom for BTS. Debuting at the top of the Billboard chart, what's next? And after umpiring baseball games for 53 years, a Newfoundland legend hangs up his cleats.
This is my home.
We're back in 2. Well, after months of being the trusted voices in this pandemic, some of Canada's top public health officials are facing some public criticism. As Susanna De Silva explains, it's rooted in contentious provincial back-to-school plans.
To be kind and to be calm and to be safe.
For months, Dr. Bonnie Henry has had near hero status in this pandemic, guiding BC through the first wave in her signature calm style. But with COVID cases climbing and back to school just around the corner, she's now being criticized in part for this.
We're going to wash our hands a lot.
It's a government ad promoting BC's school plan in a classroom with lots of space and very few children.
No, I think they've lost a bit of my trust because I feel like at the moment they're jeopardizing the kids' health for the economy.
Dr. Henry and the provincial government say it was never meant to show what actual classrooms will look like.
Public health is supposed to be outside of this kind of politicking.
This expert in public trust says Henry may have stepped too far.
Helping sell a political image of back to school. And that's where the politics and the science seem to get too close together.
Alberta's Dr. Dina Hinshaw is being criticized for a weekend health order saying physical distancing is not required in the classroom. A teachers' association called it a stunning reversal. Hinshaw says the message hasn't changed and the timing wasn't meant to hide it.
I think it's unfortunate that some political actors are trying constantly to score political points against our highly qualified public servants.
Part of the problem is we've put health authorities like Bonnie Henry up on a pedestal. And if you're going to put them up on a pedestal, you're inevitably going to be disappointed.
Another factor, fatigue over messages heard for months. But many say it is crucial not to lose public trust now.
It's going to be hard to earn that back later on when she needs a lot of public buy-in, for example, the future COVID vaccine.
Especially moving into the fall when health officials have said all along things could get even more challenging. Susanna De Silva, CBC News, Vancouver.
When we come back, we hear from Ontario teachers getting ready for a school year like no other, and they're nervous about it.
They had over 4 months to plan for school opening.
Really, to me, is a non-plan.
I wish that there would have been earlier action.
A few days to go, and some teachers in the Toronto area tell us they still feel like they're in the dark about a safe return to school. Their concerns for their students and themselves. Next. Plus, the doctor blamed for a COVID outbreak in New Brunswick speaks out. Suspended, shamed, and subject to racist attacks. His story coming up. Across the country, the return to school is underway. Kids are heading back to class, and many of them can't wait.
I am very excited.
I'm really excited. For a lot of people I know, it's like all you can think about.
I'm happy.
Why?
Because I love going to kindergarten.
Waiting for them inside, new rules, new protocols, and of course, their teachers. Now, those teachers will also have new rules to get used to. Some of them still being worked out, which all makes heading back to school a really anxious time. We spoke to 4 teachers from the Toronto area.
Hi, I'm Michelle Aptekar. I'm a prep coverage teacher.
I love being a teacher. I love being with all the kids at school, seeing parents when they're grateful and you've achieved something with their child. There's no better feeling.
Hi, my name is Diana Wang Martin, and I am a chemistry teacher. What I like most about being a teacher is working with a student, teaching them not just chemistry, but teaching them skills that will benefit them in their future.
Hi, my name is Rachel Luke, and I teach English and Dramatic Arts in ESL. I love creating lesson plans and interesting and engaging things, and I love to see students achieve success. I think that's the best thing about teaching.
I'm Aaron Capel. I am a vocal music teacher at an elementary school. You can stand me up at the gates of hell, but I won't back down. I love making music with other people. It is like, it's amazing for the spirit and for the soul, and I get to do that as my job. I'm so lucky. I miss it. I'd like to get back to it.
I'm worried about going back to work for many reasons. First being my health and the health of my family. I'm an asthmatic. I'm scared to be exposed to so many children. I'm supposed to be teaching 9 classes with about 200 children. I've had pneumonia a few times in the last 5 years, so it's very scary. It's nerve-wracking.
In my situation, I'm very worried about my family heading back to school. My husband and I are both teachers, and we have a son in elementary school. So the 3 of us are all heading back to school. We're worried about the ventilation system. Some parts of the school in the past, before pandemic even, it was really cold, and some parts were really hot.
I'm worried about my classroom. My school right now is undergoing renovations, and so I am very concerned that the school, which is already small, will have over 1,000 students walking in the space, 85 teachers. And now that we have renovations, it's about half the size, and we're all going to be moving around in that space.
I'm worried about bringing the virus back home to my family. I'm also worried about spreading the virus amongst the community. The number one job of a teacher is to make sure that their students are safe. And I take that responsibility very seriously, and it's very anxiety-provoking to be this close to the start of the school year and not be confident that we can do that.
I wish the government would mandate smaller class sizes, social distancing as it is outside of school, so not 1 meter. The kids should be 2 meters apart. All children should be in masks, but they're wearing masks outside of the school, so let's try to bring that into school. It protects me.
They had over 4 months to plan for school opening, and we're 3 weeks away with very little planning. I wish that we properly funded so that each class has no more than 15 students. I don't understand why children as young as 2 or 3 years old have to wear a mask in indoor public spaces, but don't have to wear a mask when they are in school all day long.
We need time to be in the school and to take a look at everything and make some decisions about our classrooms, about the space, about how this is going to work. I feel like a decision was just made. It really, to me, is a non-plan.
I wish that there would have been earlier action so that boards would have had more time to plan, and then the information could filter down to the staff earlier, because we still don't have any information about how the school year is going to look.
Emotionally, this has been really draining. It's been very consuming. It feels like I don't know my left from my right. I don't know where I'm going, what I'm doing. I don't know what my September looks like.
It's been very stressful thinking about school opening. I have not been able to sleep. I've been waking up multiple times a night, just very anxious, very stressed out.
It's unbelievable. I'm very, very stressed. I feel very anxious. Anytime I speak to my colleagues, I feel myself getting heart palpitations.
It's basically all-consuming, but what I'm really trying to do is not think about it, unfortunately. So I'm not planning for school, because when I sit down to start thinking about what to do for my school year, it makes me sick to my stomach.
I'm very torn about going back to school. I really want my normal back. I want to be with the kids that I teach. I want to be with my colleagues. I want to be part of that community again. But On the other hand, my health plays a huge role in it.
We don't really have a choice. We have to go back. Not having the choice makes us very anxious, but there's not much we can do.
So my parents live with me and I'm the primary caregiver. So my worst fear is to get my parents sick. If I'm a carrier and I bring it home to them, that would be my worst fear. And I have friends that in the United States that brought it home to their parents, and unfortunately that resulted in death. So I have a lot of fear about what could happen, and I don't want to have to carry guilt with me if that is the case.
I see 18 different classes every week. If the numbers stay what they are, as the government has said, their class sizes are going to remain the same. That's about 450 to 500 different student contacts every week. Well, I know what's right. I got just one life. That's really hard for me to wrap my head around returning to after restricting my social interaction to 9 people for the past few months. And I won't back down.
Well, next on The National, a doctor's story.
It's not based in facts, but it's also not based in fairness.
What happened after a doctor was blamed for a COVID-19 outbreak in New Brunswick? He speaks to the Fifth Estate right after this. In April, New Brunswick became the first province to emerge from the strict lockdowns of COVID-19. By late May, it hadn't had a case for 2 weeks, but all that changed when a doctor in a small town tested positive. That unleashed an avalanche of anger his way, some of it racist. Now the CBC's Fifth Estate has his story. In his first television interview, Dr. Ngola tells Judy Trin what happened.
In this border town, the Restigouche River separates New Brunswick from Quebec. This is Campbellton. 7 years ago, it embraced this immigrant doctor from the Democratic Republic of Congo.
You can go to Campbellton to ask what kind of physician is Dr. Ngola. I love these populations. But in one day, everything was destroyed.
They put this photo already on the internet.
Everything changed on May 27th, the day his COVID test came back positive. Within an hour, Ngola's name was leaked online, blamed for spreading the virus, then subjected to racist attacks on social media for weeks, like this one calling for his lynching.
They attack your pictures everywhere, and people become, this guy is a small refugee. He come here, he bring the disease to spread everywhere.
3 hours later, the premier pointed to the doctor as the source of a new outbreak in Campbellton.
A medical professional who traveled to Quebec for personal reason was not forthcoming about their reasons for travel upon returning to New Brunswick, and they did not self-isolate as a result.
The premier did not name Ngola directly in his news conference, but 2 hours after his remarks, the doctor was suspended without pay from his job at the Campbellton Hospital. Then around supper time, he was notified that his 4-year-old daughter also tested positive for COVID-19. His life was in tatters within 6 hours.
Medicine for me is my life. I love medicine. I love medicine. But to be separated with my patients, it was also a shock for me.
Soon, Ngola was under a police investigation, all because he traveled to Montreal to pick up his daughter after her mother flew to Africa to attend a funeral. Before leaving Campbellton, Ngola called the provincial COVID hotline. He says he was told he didn't have to self-isolate when he returned because he was an essential worker.
They told me that you are physicians. When you'll be back in New Brunswick, there is no problem.
Joel Etienne is Ngola's lawyer. He says the doctor was scapegoated for the outbreak and will sue.
Calling on the criminalization of something that is not criminal, making accusations, singling out without any evidence. The province decided to act in a fashion that was completely contrary to how it should have been acting with respect to every other citizen.
The Campbellton outbreak grew to more than 40 cases and spread to a long-term care home where 2 residents died. Ngola's legal team hired a former RCMP officer to do their own contact tracing, The process took 30 days.
It's very, very unlikely that he is patient zero. There's so many other possibilities for that, and it doesn't appear to me that any of these possibilities have been examined until Dr. Ngola retained his counsel.
The investigator retraced Ngola's road trip on May 12 from Campbellton to Montreal. He spent the night at his brother's house, then left the next morning with his daughter. His brother would later test negative for the virus. Shortly before noon, Ngola stops in Trois-Rivières and meets with 2 local doctors to talk about joining their practice. They speak for about 20 minutes.
The meeting in Trois-Rivières,
Yes.
you're physically distanced, you're...
Physically distanced, mask and gloves.
After that, they stop in La Pocatière to buy gas and food. By 6 p.m., they're at the border in Edmundston and home by 9. Epidemiologists say it's unlikely Ngola was infected.
Overall, I mean, it's a short time. He wasn't in contact with a very small number of people. It would seem that the risk would be reasonably low of having actually been in contact with COVID-19 and contracted during that time, but not impossible.
Vitalite, we do not know if he's patient 1, 0, 4, 5. We're not privy to that information.
Gilles Tang was Ngola's boss. The CEO of the Vitalite Health Network suspended the doctor from working in the Campbellton Hospital. He says it was because Ngola broke the COVID protocol, not because of political pressure.
I would say that things happened very quickly, and that you know, from our angle, the situation was that Dr. Ngola was supposed to inform us if he was leaving the province.
Ngola believes he got the virus from working in the emergency room. 90 Campbellton Hospital workers, or 10% of staff, live in Quebec and cross over daily. The hospital depends on the help of more than 20 doctors from outside the province to provide services. These doctors don't isolate, and 20% of the hospital's patients are from Quebec.
It's not based in facts, but it's also not based in fairness. This is beyond the control of human measure.
Fighting for re-election, the premier is unapologetic.
I had no knowledge of the individual until it appeared in social media. So the concerns that I've had throughout this pandemic is that we have to be cautious.
In the meantime, Ngola is focused on building a practice in a different small town, this time in Louisville, Quebec, where as a doctor, he doesn't have to cross borders to see his daughter. Judy Trin, CBC News, Gatineau.
Now, New Brunswick RCMP say it has closed its investigation into Dr. Ngola. He won't be charged, but could still face a hefty fine for violating the Provincial Emergency Services Act. That could be as much as $10,000. Well, next on The National, a new BTS breakthrough, debuting their new single at the top of the Billboard chart.
An English song sung by people who speak Korean as a first language, and to have that hit the top of the charts, that's the beauty of it.
Dynamite blows up right after this.
I'm Josh Block. Tomorrow on CBC's daily news podcast, Front Burner, thousands of students in Quebec have returned to school. We'll talk about what that might teach us about challenges ahead for the rest of the country. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Well, you heard it. It's called Dynamite by BTS, the K-pop group's newest single, all in English, just released and already a history maker. It's the first song by an all-South Korean group to top Billboard's Hot 100 chart in the U.S. As Eli Glasner explains, that instant success is a product of years of hard work.
Call it a bop or a jam, what Dynamite is a record breaker, smashing the record for the most YouTube views in 24 hours before making that debut at the top of the Billboard Hot 100 chart, a first for a South Korean band.
I personally really enjoyed it. I'm still waiting to cover it myself.
This fan makes her own K-pop parody videos. She says Dynamite is already creating converts.
I played it for my non-K-pop friends and they're like, oh wow, what song is this? It's so catchy. And I'm gonna go search it up. And one of my friends couldn't stop watching the music video, and she's a non-fan.
This music writer says it's all part of the BTS blueprint for success.
Before the track was even released, they put out a 10-second teaser, and there was like already a dance challenge on TikTok about Dynamite, and people kind of like speculating the choreography.
Dynamite is just the latest smash for the Korean supergroup who've sold over 20 million physical albums in 7 years. Lainey Louie is a BTS believer. She credits the fan base, but also savvy planning.
Very few artists release this much new music in 1 year. But they took advantage of Dynamite, the fact that they had never released an all-English song. They felt like the world needed a positive song right now.
She admits having a little trepidation about them singing in English, but not after she heard it.
They're singing in accents. They're singing in not whatever perfect sounding English is supposed to look like. That is not the Queen's English. For me personally, I'm not Korean, I'm Chinese. My parents speak with accents. So it's so relatable on that level, but it's so meaningful and powerful on that level.
Yeah. Power to change the very sound of pop music itself. Eli Glasper, CBC News, Toronto.
It is kind of catchy. Next on The National, hanging up his cleats after decades on the Diamond.
St. Pat's Ballpark here is basically my summer home since 1958.
A Newfoundland sports legend umpires his last baseball game right after this. But first.
Señoras, señores, la pareja campeona del mundo 2020.
COVID-19 may have disrupted many things, but nothing can stop the dance of love. This is the 2020 World Tango Cup. Normally held in a Buenos Aires stadium, this year held virtually, with submissions sent from studios, ballrooms, and living rooms around the world.
Más de 200 bailarines que se han anotado. Nos ha sorprendido.
Queríamos como sentir algo diferente y que la gente pensara por unos momentos en algo diferente, que no fuera esta crisis que nos está afectando a todos, sobre todo a nosotros los artistas.
But the hope is this was the last virtual competition. After all, there's only so much dance passion a tiny apartment floor can take. We want to show you St. Pat's Ballpark in St. John's. Now to you, it might seem like a regular old baseball diamond, but for this local sports legend, it's anything but regular. It is a true field of dreams. Tonight, Carl Lake retires from his lifelong career as a local umpire. His farewell to the job he loves is our moment.
This is my home.
Carl Lake is a legend in Newfoundland. He's been calling games at St. Pat's Field for 53 years.
St. Pat's Ballpark here is basically my summer home since 1958. I came down here as a kid about that height, came down to watch a baseball game, and I haven't left since.
His heart captured, he started off hawking hot dogs in the stands. Decades later, the magic's still there.
It's the mystique of being here, the people you've met, the people you've known over the years. You can hear the ghosts of people down here when they play.
Off the diamond, Carl has dedicated his life to local sports, covering just about every sport for just about every outlet. He now runs a website that covers local games at all levels.
That is love of sports, trying to promote the local people. You can get national anywhere, but local has all of a sudden been shoved aside.
Tonight, his lifelong labor of love at St. Pat's Park comes to an end. Carl made his last call. His doctors told him it wasn't safe to keep umpiring, but he wanted to do one last game.
And it means a lot to me, it means a lot to my family, and to my umpire friends. It's home, it's heaven, it's almost like heaven. I was intended to be here, I don't know why, but I'm intended to be at St. Pat's.
Well, yeah, and for that reason, I don't buy it. I don't think it's his last. People like him, they just keep going, and I trust that he will find a way. Maybe he'll throw a first pitch out next year's season. That's the National for this Tuesday, September 1st. Good night.